Hey everyone, this is Cindy at an open door. According to the calendar, it is December 18th at noon, which means look at everybody. It's the hour we call Finding Truth Everywhere. And I'm not even going to try to figure out why this happened. Um, but for whatever reason, this week, instead of finding a podcast with a whole bunch of people talking to each other about what is true. Um, I assigned just Jen Sara. Is that how you pronounce her name? Rana loves her. An Australian nun whose site, she has millions of followers, right? She has well over 1 million followers, and she reads the truth teachings in a beautiful way, and people all over the world sink into what she does. And even though Rana's been talking to me about it for years, not once have I ever listened to her. And when I assigned it, sort of like the first time I assigned Joel Goldsmith, I didn't listen to what I assigned. I had no idea what the recording was. I just assigned it. Um, and I listened to it probably 4 or 5 times, at least once in the last week. I woke up in the middle of the night, went back to sleep with it. I listened to it in the morning. I listened to it in the afternoon. And uh, and I've got the first 6 minutes set up for us to experience together now instead of a song. Here's what I want to say about it before we do that. And then one of the reasons why I was like, I hope Mel comes. Because one of the ways this conversation can go is about ancient texts, right? Because this is one of the things I want to put out there. This is a poem that was in that container that was found in southern Egypt in the 1940s at the same time the Gospel of Thomas was found, right? There was X number of documents that were all recovered. Nobody knows where they came from. Nobody really, nobody know. Like I started looking on the internet, right? And I started laughing at people trying to pull it apart and analyze it and say this must be why they found this important enough to store in this way and this must, but nobody knows. Nobody knows exactly how old the document is. They guess that it's from like somewhere between 100 and 300 BCE, but nobody knows. Nobody knows. So here's a text. It's definitely feminine, right? It's divine feminine. It speaks to the recognition that what I am is everything. So my suggestion when I sat this morning was that we listen to just the first, it's only 30 minutes long. I don't care if you like, let's just do the first 6 minutes. Like I listened this morning, and at 6 minutes, there's one of those gongs and a pause, and just be with it. I heard from Adi Ashanti many years ago, when you sit in satsang with me, don't try to understand what I'm saying. Don't use that part of the mind. Instead, take in my words like you take in a gentle summer rain. Allow yourself to feel it. Notice when the mind interferes with that and attempts to figure it out. Notice when the mind says, I like this, or I don't like this, or this is why this is good, or this is why this isn't good. Let it all go. Let that part, notice it, but you don't have to pay attention to that, right? Instead, be with this voice that millions have been pulled into and let something happen or nothing happen. And then we can talk about that. And we can also talk about why some of these texts are with us. Like this is one of them. But I always go back to the Tao. I mean, I have 20 different versions of the Tao, right? The Tao or the Bhagavad Gita or the Yoga Vasista, which I adore. Um, where did they come from? But not in a way of using the mind to make up a story, but just to understand that we don't know, which means we don't know. And isn't that wonderful? So, anybody want to say anything before we do this? Amy, please.
I will wait till after we do it, but I just want to say that I don't know if anyone has read the Gnostic Gospels by Elaine Pagels. She's a Harvard researcher. She's phenomenal. She wrote the Gospel of Thomas. She was one of the first people to actually decipher the Gnostic Gospels, and she has a bit in here about where they come from. So as we go along, I'll be happy to share that.
I'd
But
love that. Yeah.
What's her last name, Amy? It's Elaine.
it's Elaine Pagels, The Gnostic Gospels.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
I mean, if you haven't read her, you're missing something. She's really.
All right. Let's do this thing, shall we?
I was sent forth from the power, and I have come to those who reflect upon me. And I have been found among those who seek after me. Look upon me, you who reflect upon me. And you hearers, hear me. You who are waiting for me, take me to yourselves. And do not banish me from your sight. And do not make your voice hate me, nor your hearing. Do not be ignorant of me anywhere or any time. Be on your guard. Do not be ignorant of me. For I am the first and the last. I am she who is honoured and she who is mocked. I am the whore and the Holy One. I am the wife and the virgin. I am the mother and the daughter. I am the limbs of my mother. I am the barren one, and many are her children. I am she whose wedding is great, and I have not taken a husband. I am the midwife, and she who does not bear. I am the solace of my labour pains. I am the bride and the bridegroom. And it is my husband who gave birth to me. I am the mother of my father and the sister of my husband. And he is my offspring. I am the slave of him who prepared me. I am the ruler of my offspring. It is he who gave birth to me at the wrong time. And he is my child, born at the right time. And my power is from within him. I am the staff of his youthful power, and he is the rod of my old womanhood. And whatever he wills happens to me. I am the silence that is incomprehensible, and the idea infinitely recalled. I am the voice with countless sounds, and the thousand guises of the word. I am the utterance of my name.
The floor is open.
So I'll start by, that was, I mean, how often do we hear the divine feminine spoken of like that? So I love that. I am the silence that is incomprehensible, and I am the utterance of my name. And be vigilant, for the voice for God is the same language that she used. So why were these texts buried? This is from Elaine. Why were they buried, and why did they remain virtually unknown for 2,000 years? Their suppression as banned documents and their burial on the cliff at Nag Hammadi, it turns out, were both part of a struggle critical for the formation of early Christianity. That both of them, the Gospel of Thomas and all of that, they were circulated at the beginning of the Christian era. So 35 AD, 45 AD, whatever, at the beginning, they were circulated and then denounced as heresy by Orthodox Christians in the middle of the 2nd century. Right. So we have long known that many early followers of Christ were condemned by other Christians as heretics. but nearly all we know about them came from what their opponents wrote in their attacks on them. Bishop Irenaeus, who supervised the church in Lyon in circa 180, was the one that said, I believe it was him and his followers who said, you have to say the certain prayer exactly the way we say it, or you will be condemned and crucified or whatever. And they said it was, they said that the texts were full of blasphemy. Gospel of Thomas was full of blasphemy. There's a Gospel of Truth. There's the Apocryphon, which is called the Secret Book of John. It goes on. Anyway, these were buried. They were part of the early teachings, and they were very threatening to the church that was trying to establish itself. So whoever buried Thunder Perfect Mind, I would love to know who did that and why. It's beautiful. Anyway, that's what I know, and that's what I have to share. Thank you.
Thank you. So Chuck. Oh, maybe not. Who's gonna share next?
I think I put him to sleep, and I apologize for that.
Uh,
Chuck, you, we're just talking about you.
I was going to ask you if experiencing these first 6 minutes with the group was different than when you listened with your mind earlier. Chuck, are you with us? You'd have to unmute though if you want us to hear you.
I kind of drifted off there for some reason. I got out of it. So I didn't have a big difference between the first time and this time. Apologize for that, but I was
Well,
a little
are you
fatigued.
saying that your thinking mind did not know what to do with it?
My
And so
thinking mind did not know what to do with it. It didn't know what to do with it the first time, although I think I shared just a little bit. I was seeing it as the awareness, the experience that God was in everything and no judgment then, but I didn't get any farther than that.
So can I ask you, are you feeling peaceful right now?
Yes,
Is the mind feeling quiet?
yes,
Yeah. Are you relaxed?
yes,
Like to suggest that this is your response to working with this particular text. And you received everything it was meant to receive. It was a message from the feminine aspect of the I am.
wow, thank you.
How often have we talked about something like be still and know I am God? In this moment right now, are you experiencing stillness?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So often there's a part of us that we have this habit of believing the thinking mind is who we are and must be informed. And if the thinking mind is shut down by something, then we don't, quote unquote, we haven't gotten it. And yet, the teachings, they're not even subtle about it anymore, not in my world anymore. The teachings, if you go from Donald Hoffman, science, to the guides, to the course, any of these teachings state that the truth lies outside of the thinking mind. And so what I heard you just tell us, Chuck, is that the thinking mind got quiet and something else came in. And you, who often, have a life that is often filled with drama and problems to solve, when you spend time with something like this, it all goes away. So that's the answer. That's the testimony, that's the direct experience. Don't let the thinking mind tell you that you didn't get it, because I'd like to suggest you got it perfectly. Does it make sense? Rana, please.
Thanks. Hey, everyone. I didn't know that I needed that 6 minutes, but I'll tell you on the other side of it, I believe that I needed that 6 minutes. I mean, quite a shift for this one here in energy and peacefulness. And thank you for always providing what I need, you know. This Finding Truth episode gets deeper and deeper, right, as we get together. First, it was, oh, this is the thing to listen to this week. And then as I'm listening to it, yes, I recognize, oh, this is that beautiful woman that I love to listen to from time to time. And just, I love the whole production of those YouTubes. You know, the music is just exquisite and the gong is just the best, you know? I mean, it's just so, can transport me to a place. And then as I'm listening to it, you know, that nature of non-duality and duality, it's like duality is non-duality because it's everything. You know, there isn't, I felt as she's going through things, right, this wave back and forth, like a pendulum, sort of, you know, as I'm thinking about it now. It's like, go to this side, and then you go to this side, and then you end up in the middle, you know? And so that was a beautiful thing too. And the discussion about the history of this poem is, you know, just fascinating to me. In my undergrad, so I had to have been like 21, I took a course, you know, fulfilling a history requirement or something, and it was called Jews and Christians. And we studied so much. I don't recall a lot of it because it was like 40 years ago, but we studied so much about the catacombs and early Christians, you know, being, you know, transported from place to place, and the Gnostics. And just to, you know, get to the point here, what that course did for me is it sort of blew up that belief that the Catholic thing I grew up in was the right thing, right? It sort of introduced me that there were other things going on besides what ended up in the Bible. And, you know, and then latching onto that idea of the Council of Nicaea, which I believe is not till like 400 or 600 AD. And Amy here is talking about 100 AD. And you know, and you can just, it's so beautiful now to see how people were so afraid. They they wanted to stay in control. What would happen if the masses knew the truth about who Jesus was, you know? But at the same time, right? It's the other end of the pendulum. We did find out. We are finding out. Time is irrelevant, right? So as we find out together about these vast possibilities of how to look at these texts, and when Amy said, I just want to know who wrote that, you know, what I felt in the deep of my soul was, God wrote that through whoever, you know, and how many texts have been written in that way, all the way to, I believe, the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous was a divinely inspired piece of literature. And that book even says the whole point of this book is to help you find a power greater than yourself. It does not say to get sober, to stop drinking, nothing. So it's like another divinely inspired text for the 20th century, you know? And then, of course, A Course in Miracles, you know? But I'm so happy and excited to know this because there was always that little thing in me, 10, 11, 12 years old. It's like, this can't be true. It's so mean, you know? And of course, I always thought, oh, Rana, you're just so naive. And I talked about that last week, right? Given just being kind, man. What's wrong with that? Nothing. So I've enjoyed this very much. It is now a part of my YouTube library. And hope you all have a nice day.
Lonnie.
Good morning, everyone. Rana, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Your energy, I could feel the vibrations coming out. You just explode in love. And it's just so amazing to be in the reception of it. I found this is my third listen. I found this to be absolutely intoxicating. I think the first time I tried to listen to the words and I couldn't. And actually this morning I went down to the ocean and sat in front of it and sat with this. And holy schmoly. It's almost as though the words didn't matter as much as the vibration of them, the vibration of the message. Almost like it was like filtering in through all the crooks and crevices of the being, you know. And so when I listened to it just now, the same thing happened that happened this morning. And so it's like, oh, I guess that's how I'm supposed to hear it, because all I kept hearing was, I am, I am, I am, I am, I am. And I know there was a lot that happened after that, but that's how I kept hearing it and kind of that pulsing through. So, yeah, it's like going on a nice little respite. I might be going back to visit that site again. That, what is it? It's a YouTube site? Yeah. Yeah,
If you go back to that video, you could subscribe, and it's an Australian nun or a group of nuns. Is it just one woman that reads everything? But there's yeah,
it's
there's
not even
tons.
about as much of the words that are said, which are important, but in the arrangement of them and the vibration they create. That's what it is right there.
Yes, it's the whole thing.
The experiencing of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
She could be reading the telephone book.
Yes.
Hi, Sandra.
Okay, again, I don't know what words will come out. But hi, first of all, hello. Hello, my dear friends, your sweet faces. What I reacted, there's a couple of things. First of all, your question, was it different this 6 minutes than when I first listened to it? And the answer is not at all, no difference. Also, it's not different than other people I've listened to. Same gentleness and peace and recognition, a remembrance, a realization of, I guess I'll use the word truth. Truth feels inadequate, but all of it is the same. And what was uniquely beautiful about this was what Rana pointed to. It's not dual versus non-dual. It's all one, which I guess is non-dual. But all all of the experiences that this particular form has experienced are viewed differently. They're reclaimed as not only for me, but productive, um, not only for me, but the old value system has completely dissolved. I don't know what, let me see what I mean by that. So yes, in Catholicism, there's good and bad, divine and evil, all of those things. And then as we learn that all things are of God, as God, for God, just even the 12-step program, where there was a step 4 where I had to list all of my character defects. And then I realized at some point that the only defect is thinking I have defects. There are no defects. There are no defects. That's a big realization. And then as you were speaking about what this particular voice and vibrational field offered and how it wasn't just the words, I was thinking, what came into me was, it isn't even the voice. It wasn't even her or the divine feminine. It's us. It's whatever is in us that responds to others. So that's why it isn't a particular voice or a particular time. There was something that was said, I wrote it down yesterday. What you see outside of you is inside of you. That she ended her, what you see outside of you is inside. What you hear outside of you is inside of you. The field that you enter, that you think you entered because of that or that or that, was always inside of you, and can be the same response to everything. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't even know if this is making any sense, but I'm trying to articulate and put into words this amazing experience of all that is not generated externally, it's generated internally. So I could, I don't know, that's all. I love that you guys just let me ramble on and still look at me with smiles and throw a few hearts in. I like those hearts. But it just is beautiful. It's just, life is so beautiful. When I woke up this morning, the first thing that came is savor every moment. Savor every moment. Because it tastes, it smells so good. And there's something about being in this form that allows me to experience it in such a unique way that maybe when the form is gone, I won't be able to experience it in this way anymore. And I don't have to strive to get rid of anything. I don't have to strive to get to a better place, to be more spiritual, or to somehow achieve some labeled state of being that some call enlightenment. It's all just right here, right now. And I can cherish it. And I do cherish it. And I can enjoy feeling sad. I've told you that. I don't know how many times I've told you that, but I do. That's enough. Hi, Mel. So nice to see you.
Hi, thank you, Sandra. Thank you, everybody. And actually just to be random, because random is works too, right? And you inspired me just to share about, and also Rana from about kindness, because yesterday I had to go to DMV to get my license renewed, and got really nervous about going. I had an appointment, but I was really nervous because it's kind of important because I'm the only driver in our household, and you had to take the the eye test, and you had to do all of fill out these forms and anything. And so anyway, so I had walked in and when I got in, I hadn't filled the right form. So I was handed a form and I went and sat down and I had a book with me and I was kind of rushed because they called my number right as I walked in because I had the appointment, and they called me ahead. So, oh my gosh, and I still needed to fill out this form. So I was a little rattled and I sat down and my book had fallen through the hole in the chair in the row behind me. But I just kept at it, and the woman I was supposed to see, she said, "Okay, just take your time." So I was working away, and then this man came and he picked up my book and he came around and he handed it to me, and it was so sweet. And I just looked at him and I said, "Oh, thank you so much." And I just felt this wave of just such kindness. And then when I got my form together, I went over to the woman that was behind the DMV person, and she goes, and she must have sensed that I was a little nervous. And she goes, you look so nice today. She goes, I love your shirt, for the picture, and she goes, well, let's now do the eye thingy. And I was a little worried about that because sometimes they have astigmatism. So I looked in and I kind of, okay. And I read the first row, and I didn't quite see the end. And she said, well, what's the last row? And I finally could see it. And I came in, and then they do the little flashlights to see if your peripheral vision was, and I saw them, and she goes, oh, you did perfectly. And I was like, oh, she was just the kindest woman. And here's a DMV worker, they have to deal with everybody. And she was just the kindest worker and the man who helped me. And as I left, I said, wow, receiving kindness is almost the same, is better than being the one that gives it in a sense, because it reaffirms our oneness. It reaffirms their oneness. And these are two strangers who, they went out of their way just to be just so kind. And they really picked up on where I was at. And there's no sense that I needed something, comfort or whatever. And I just felt so blessed. It was like my best Christmas gift I could ever have received, because I just felt that oneness that had spread out to everybody. So that was my wonderful Christmas sharing. And and I really enjoyed listening to this as well. So good to be with all of you, my family. Thank you.
Thank you. Regis, why'd your hand go down?
You tell me.
I didn't do it.
No, I know you did. Because I knew you would still recognize me. You're too predictable now. We don't get away with putting our hand back down once we raise it in your groups. So I love it. And I love you. So and thank you for reminding me to come to these groups. So I'm here. So and I did get a chance to listen because I went to the website and I read the directions. And so I got a chance to, I got a project. So, but it was wonderful, and it just I, this last, I don't know, 30 or 45 days, it's just been an amazing journey place, because everything in my life just keeps affirming the other. It's just amazing that it doesn't stop, because a few days ago, prior to even thinking I would be coming to this room on today, I wrote a note to myself. That's why I kept going up. Why did I write that note? But I wrote a note to myself. I am no longer interested in thoughts of right doing and wrong doing. And this recording embodies that whole idea. It's and I told somebody this the other day, the essence of being comfortable in your own skin. You can't truly appreciate the I am that we are when there's any ideas of right doing and wrong doing floating around regarding anything. And this 29 minutes of back and forth that some people have described it. It's like it's all God, it's all good, and it's all beautiful. And um, I can appreciate every aspect of my existence. There is no up, there is no down, there is no left, there is no right. And so this was just the cherry on top of the icing on top of me writing to myself. I'm no longer interested in thoughts of right doing and wrongdoing, period. You know, and so this person, as they went through all of these opposites, you know, both sides, and it's just beautiful. It's I wish it for every person, not just in this room, for every person whose path I cross. Uh, if it's one thing that you will probably get from spending a little time with me, is that you're okay just the way you are. You're perfect just the way you are. Uh, and as that songwriter wrote, I love you just the way you are. You know, and that's it. You know, can I love myself just the way I am? Capital I, capital A. How dare me not appreciate I am? How dare me criticize I am? You know, how how dare me, you know, wake up and have a resistance or criticism of I am in any way, in any shape, form, or fashion, in the most minute, you know, small, as we say, I was just joking, you know. But I'm no longer interested in right doing and wrongdoing, and not about other people. It's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer about myself, about my opinion, about my thoughts, about my emotions, about my feelings, about my ideas. You know? So I love it. Thanks, and thanks for inviting me again. I appreciate it.
I am going to change the website to include the other times. I remember saying that. Before I hand things to Livy, um, thanks to Lonnie, I think it was Lonnie, I started following the monks on their 102-day journey to Washington, D.C. And I can't even remember where they were, whether it's Missouri or Mississippi. They're on day 50. They were on day 50 in this video I was watching. And the monk gave this 8-minute talk, and I'm gonna go and listen to it again. A church, Christian church, put the monks up, right? And there was a whole bunch of people, and they're all sitting. And I didn't see the dog, though. I wanted to know where the dog was. But at one point, the monk said, every morning, I want you to take a piece of paper and write on this piece of paper, today I'm going to have a peaceful day. And to keep the paper with you and to read it often throughout the day. And then at the end, I'm going to mute you, Regis, because for some reason you echo. Oh. And then at the end of the day, he says, just take a few minutes and rewind the day. And that's, maybe Lonnie already watched this because I don't know what he said, if you found places that weren't peaceful, but he said, you keep doing that every day. When you first wake up in the morning, you just write on a piece of paper, I am going to have a peaceful day. And he said, if you keep doing that and you carry it around with you, pretty soon you will be the peaceful day. And then we won't have to take these walks anymore. But I just, I'm kind of in the energy of that message, which was gorgeous. Because he said, look at us, you know, we're these monks. We don't look like you, and we don't believe the same. You know, everybody believes differently. And this has been the greatest welcome, you know, the most amazing welcome. So, yeah. Thank you for letting me say that out loud. Hey, Livy.
Livy, let me jump in. I'm sorry. Oh, I just wanted to say, Cindy, a part of this last 30, 45 days, I met the monks also, and I got this shawl from them. Uh,
You
this
met them? They were
shawl.
in Colorado?
They were in Pueblo. How cool it was that they had some openings in their schedule. They was traveling through the U.S. and they knew somebody that knew somebody in Pueblo, so they flew them into Pueblo, and so I got to spend an evening with them, and
The
yeah,
monks
they
that are
were
on the, not the monks that are on the, there's this
well.
group of 19 monks that are walking from Texas to DC.
It may have not been them, but it's another group because they definitely wasn't walking, but they was, but they were I think they were out in California and they just had some free time and was trying to find somewhere to go and something to do, and somebody brought them down here, so we got to spend the evening with them, and yeah, it was really great. Some takeaways. I don't want to prolong the time, but I just wanted to share that. Yeah, I got a chance to interact and get some real positive things. That one of the things that they were so amazed about, but they kept saying, everybody here is they busy and they getting stuff, but nobody's really happy. You know, it's like they was like nobody's really. It's like there's not a lot of happy people, but they're real busy, So it was like really funny talking to them about some of this stuff. So thanks. Go ahead, Livy.
You sure? I love your decorations in the back. Happy Merry everything, everybody. Um, my hands are so clammy right now. They're just very, very clammy. I don't know what that's about, and that's okay. Um, and so what this made me think about was just y'all have been through a lot with me this year. And last night I was sitting and I was reading in the course a little bit at the beginning, and I sat for a while, and what came up for me was that I've been seeing my sister and my niece as victims. When I see them as victims, that means that I'm seeing them as separate, and that they are their own unique expressions of the divine. And that realization just sort of, there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do except be the love that I am and see them as the love that they are. It takes what it takes. And I was really, really, and I am really grateful for that seeing. And I loved this video for all the reasons everyone said. And it reminded me of the Thich Nhat Hanh poem or writing that he wrote as well, as the reminder that we are everything and everything is us. And so I am getting some blocks in my brain, so I'm going to quit talking right now. But it was just such a relief, and what prompted it was getting into story about each of their lives. And I went, wait a minute, that's not who they are. That's not who they are. And so I'm really, really grateful that I was able to have that. And so I just wanted to share that with the group. And I'm going to wipe my hands on this blanket. All right. Thanks for letting me share.
Thank you. Now's this moment, William. I love placing my attention on you.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, I think I've been residing more and more in silence. Somehow, even the word, the feeling, the being there, uh, it's like I don't really have to listen to my mind as much. And I liked what you said to Chuck. I didn't get much of it. And it's like accepting. It's such, it's such a relief to not to have to think. Uh, So it's so easy just to be silent. I don't have to do anything. And what I see now is just being aware and just being silent. Somehow the two make a nice sandwich. I came across some things that I wrote this last few days. Having my son here and the gift of our not understanding at times, while at the same time just being in my silent love for who he is, for who he is, for who he is. I just am filled with it. And I came across some writings I wrote back in 1986, 7, and I read these things. My gosh, I knew more then than sometimes I think I know now. Not true, but what I'm getting at. I knew then exactly what I know today. And I've spent all these years thinking I didn't know all that and I needed to strive. And it's like amazing. These things that I wrote were so true. But I didn't let them fully in the now. Somehow I kept thinking with my mind more and more and more and more. So it was kind of like a wake-up call. My goodness, I love reading what I wrote back then. It's like I could have written them today. So thank you for calling. It's just I feel so content just to be silent and just like I really don't know. I don't understand hardly anything. And it just feels so comforting. Like just and I listened to a nun monk today, this morning before, and it's so easy just be still and ask the question. Never look for the answer, but be the answer. And how this monk for 15 years lived with the question, what is this? What is this? I don't know. And that sort of helps me be in my own silence. I don't know either, but yet I know something now that I didn't know before. So thank you all for this nice space.
Thank you. The space wouldn't be what it is without you, without all of that. I can feel everybody's, I don't know what the word is, contentment. Okay. A couple of things about the next couple of weeks, seeing as how it tends to be a little bit different in many people's worlds. Next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at an open door will be like any other. Next Thursday, which is Christmas Day, I'm gonna open this room at noon. We have no podcast assigned. If you have the time to come and say hi, I love you, and We'll just hang, sort of like on Thanksgiving. We'll hang for 30 minutes or we'll hang for an hour, but I'm going to open the door at noon. Would love even 5 minutes with you. Evita in ACIM on Christmas Day will not happen by 4 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time. Most of us are doing something else. So that's not going to happen. And then January, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday leading up to New Year's Day. I don't know if we're gonna do the satsang on New Year's Eve yet. So I'm gonna leave that open for right now. But New Year's Day is going to at noon, we're not gonna have a podcast assigned, but we are gonna meet. My sense is that something is going to come to us and we're going to do something to step into the new year. I just don't know what that looks like. 4 o'clock, we're going to do a Vita in ACIM, and it'll be a great thing to do on New Year's Day. And Amy said she wanted to do it. January 8th, there's also no podcast assigned. Really want people to put that in your calendar. We're going to have a conversation with Lonnie on January 8th, the Human Library, and we're going to hear about who she is and where she came from and have a conversation. She has told us, ask questions. It's a different, Lonnie lives a life that is outside of what people would often call normal. Not that any of us are normal these days. I'm really excited about it. So come, open heart, open mind, and curiosity, and we're going to have a conversation with Lonnie on January 8th. Normal is a cycle on a dishwasher. Yeah, lots of love. Like there's so much love flowing through this space right now. We got 3 minutes left in this official hours. Please, Sandra.
I just have a question for Amy. Are you still recording?
Would you like me to turn off the recording?
Well, it doesn't need to be on this recording.
All right, let me turn off the recording. Here we go. I love us.
So are we going to have